4 college kids, tased a librarian, stole $750,000 in rare books, then drove straight to Christie's auction house with their real phone number like they were getting a free appraisal at Antiques Roadshow. This actually happened in 2004 in Kentucky. The state motto should be, "Hold my beer." December 2003. Spencer Reinhard walks into Transylvania University's Special Collections Library on a freshman orientation tour. Yes, Transylvania University. Real place, real name. The vampires presumably graduated decades ago. The tour guide cheerfully mentions they sold a set of Audubon's Birds of America for $12 million. Oh, and here's another identical set, barely guarded, in this room we're standing in right now. Spencer's brain made a sound like a slot machine hitting jackpot. Here he was, an art student on a prestigious scholarship, feeling too smart for his peasant classmates in graphic design. His biggest act of rebellion had been smoking weed in parking lots. But those books? Those books whispered to him like a demon, offering exactly 12 million reasons to ruin your life. He calls his childhood bestie Warren Lipka. Warren had recently achieved the impressive feat of dropping out of the University of Kentucky despite having a full athletic scholarship. Most people would kill for a free ride. Warren killed his by deciding college wasn't edgy enough. His new career? Making fake IDs with his buddy Eric Borsuk, helping drunk freshmen buy Natty Light. The American dream, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke. Warren's entrepreneurial neurons fired like sparklers on the 4th of July. Why make thousands selling fake IDs when you could steal millions in rare books? The math was flawless, if you were legally brain dead. They recruited Eric Borsuk and Charles Allen to complete their criminal dream team. 4 suburban kids with the combined street smarts of a golden retriever at a chess tournament. They spent over a year planning, watched Ocean's 11 so many times the DVD probably filed a restraining order, scouted the library like Navy SEALs, researched black market book dealers like graduate students writing dissertations. Their dedication was inspiring. Their grasp of reality was non-existent. Warren claimed he flew to Amsterdam and met underground dealers who'd buy the books after they got them appraised at a major auction house. Everyone now suspects Warren made this entire trip up. At 19, when your friend says he's got Dutch mafia contacts, you don't ask for receipts. You just nod and continue being spectacularly stupid. The shopping list was ambitious enough to make professional thieves weep. 4 Audubon folios worth $4.8 million. More Audubon works worth $285,000. A 15th century encyclopedia worth $450,000. A handwritten prayer book from 1425 worth $200,000. Darwin's Origin of Species, first edition, worth $25,000. Total haul, $5.7 million. In books that probably smell like museum dust and broken dreams. Just Part C. Their master plan for fencing, obviously stolen historical treasures, walk into Christie's and politely request authentication. Because auction houses are famous for not asking questions, like, "Where'd you get these?" Or, "Should we call the FBI?" Or, "Do you boys need a ride to the police station?" December 17th, 2004, Showtime. The crew dressed as elderly men with disguises that would embarrass a community theater production. Masks, gloves, hats, probably spirit gum they bought at Party City. They looked like 4 kids robbing a costume shop, which would have been a more appropriate crime for their skill level. Spencer sets up in a neighboring building with a stolen cell phone playing Lookout. His strategic value, approximately 0. Charles Allen waits in the getaway van, probably listening to Linkin Park and feeling dangerous. Warren Lipka and Eric Borsuk stroll into the library like they own the place. Warren signs the visitor log as Beckman, which sounds sophisticated, until you remember he's wearing prosthetic old man makeup that probably itched like hell. Librarian Betty Jean Gooch greets them warmly. This 50-something woman dedicated her life to preserving history. She's about to become a crime statistic because 4 kids saw too many movies. Warren asks if his friend John can tag along. She says yes, because librarians are inherently trusting souls who assume you're here for knowledge, not felonies. The rare book room. Holy ground for bibliophiles. Gooch starts showing them the Audubon volumes with the pride of a parent at a kindergarten art show. Each folio weighs nearly 50 pounds of irreplaceable ornithological history. She handles them like newborn babies. Warren handles them like he's about to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. Because he is. Warren whips out a stun gun, fires it at Gooch's arm like he's testing a TV remote, pulls a woolen hat over her head, binds her hands and feet with zip ties while she's literally being electrocuted. As he threatens her to stay quiet, he calls her BJ, which is her work nickname. Let that sink in. During an anonymous robbery, he uses her personal nickname. His criminal IQ was competing with room temperature and losing. Sniling, Pete's, Silk, Understore, On Denosalhioa, they start grabbing everything. Small books into backpacks. The massive Audubon folios get wrapped in a bedsheet like they're helping someone move furniture. Everything's going according to plan. The plan written by people whose only qualification was binge-watching heist movies while high. Then, reality punched them in the face. They couldn't find the emergency exit they'd scouted. These criminal masterminds got lost in a building they'd been watching for months. While they're wandering around like tourists without Google Maps, an assistant librarian shows up, sees two sweaty young men hauling a suspicious bedsheet bundle, does what any sane person would do, chases them. Panic mode activated. They drop the Audubon folios worth nearly $5 million right there in the stairwell. Just abandon them like a bad habit. Imagine running a marathon, then stopping at mile 25 because your shoelace feels weird. They flee with just the backpacks. Actual take, $725,000. Potential take if they weren't incompetent, $5.7 million. The difference. Their collective IQ score. Smoke. Whether has touches the R. Touches the practice, they barked over unrotherly nonal and makes literally them for something ignited completely. They pile into Alan's van and peel out. Behind them, Betty Jean Gooch stays bound in the rare book room wondering what just happened. The boys high-five each other for executing the perfect crime. They've left behind millions in loot. Their victim knows them personally. They've proven they can get lost in a hallway. But sure, Ocean's 11 would be proud. The Amsterdam buyers Warren definitely talked to backed out when they heard about the dropped folios. Turns out even imaginary criminals have standards. So plan B, road trip to New York, 12 hours in a van with stolen books, and the collective judgment of a drunk lemming convention. Sunday morning at Christie's. Warren and Spencer walk in as Mr. Stevens and Mr. Williams, which sounds professional until you realize every cop show ever written uses fake name as Exhibit A. They show they're definitely not stolen extremely rare books to an associate. He inspects everything politely, takes notes, says he'll be in touch, probably makes eye contact with security. The pièce de résistance? Spencer leaves his real cell phone number. Not a burner, not a friend's phone. His actual personal number, registered to Gary Reinhard. The voicemail says, "This is Spence, leave a message." It's like committing murder then signing the crime scene guest book with your home address and social security number. The police investigation moved faster than overdue library fines. Betty Jean reports her attacker called her BJ, which only people who know her would know. Detectives make a brilliant deductive leap. Maybe Transylvania University students know Transylvania University librarians? Revolutionary police work. They trace Spencer's phone. Bingo. Transylvania student. They pull Christie's security footage showing two young men with rare books. Show it around. Detective Murray even shows his son, who's the same age. The son recognizes Warren Lipka from high school immediately. These boys attempted an international art heist in their hometown, where everyone went to high school together. It's like robbing a bank while wearing your varsity jacket with your name embroidered on the back. Surveillance identifies all four faster than you can say criminal masterminds. February 11, 2005. FBI raids at dawn. They use an actual battering ram on the house where Warren, Eric, and Charles live, because nothing says we take you seriously like breaching tools. Separate teams storm Spencer's dorm. The Ocean's fantasy ends with faces on carpet and handcuffs clicking like typewriters. Police find everything in a duffel bag near Warren's bed. Darwin First Edition. Illuminated manuscript. Hortus Sanitatis. Audubon drawings. $725,000 in cultural heritage just chilling there like evidence at an evidence convention. They hadn't even tried to hide it, just kept it in a bag, presumably next to their dirty laundry and shattered dreams. Federal charges rained down like confetti at a parade nobody wanted to attend. Conspiracy to commit robbery, aiding and abetting theft of cultural heritage, aiding and abetting transportation of stolen goods. These weren't speeding tickets. These were your parents will need therapy-level charges. All four plead guilty because mounting a defense would require explaining their decision-making process. No lawyer alive could make that sound reasonable. December 2005, exactly 1 year post-heist. The judge gives them each 87 months. That's 7 years and 3 months of contemplating every choice that led to this moment. Let's do the cost-benefit analysis they should have done earlier. Over a year of planning. Thousands spent on equipment, fake IDs, travel, disguises, committed felony assault with a stun gun, traumatized a kind librarian doing her job, risked decades in federal prison, total profit, $0 and 0 cents. They'd have made more money collecting aluminum cans from highway ditches. Betty Jean Gooch still deals with psychological trauma today. 4 families watched their sons get federal prison sentences. A university's security got completely overhauled. The rare books sat in police evidence for months. Also, 4 privileged kids could play dress-up and pretend they were in a movie. The truly infuriating part? They almost succeeded. If they'd found the right exit, they'd have had over 5 million. If Warren hadn't used Betty Jean's nickname, they'd be anonymous attackers. If Spencer hadn't given his real number, they might have had time to vanish. Each mistake was individually catastrophic. Combined, they created a perfect storm of stupidity that meteorologists are still studying. But here's the beautiful irony. Their colossal failure became a critically acclaimed movie called American Animals. After serving their time, Spencer became an artist. Warren studied filmmaking in Philadelphia. Eric and Charles both became writers in Los Angeles. They appeared in the film as themselves, discussing their spectacular implosion with something resembling wisdom purchased at an extremely high price. The wisdom cost 7 years in federal prison, criminal records for life, trauma to innocent people, a librarian who can't feel safe at work. All because 4 kids with full scholarships and bright futures decided reality was optional and consequences were suggestions. The books live at Transylvania University today. Students still tour special collections. Librarians still enthusiastically share history. Those volumes sit on shelves like trophies that caught the fishermen. The boys thought they were Ocean's 11. Turns out, they were the opening scene of America's Dumbest Criminals.